Well, I'll be honest. If I was to start early, which is, you know,
Difficult.
difficult, but I mean, if would start, let's say, in the winter or even the early spring, then things would be a lot easier. But I can be stubborn and lazy and whatever sometimes. And I was like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get started tomorrow. Then you get down and then you only have a short time, maybe a month. So you really got to start getting on it and making sure you cover everything. Everything's, the way it needs to be. Steve and I always get together, go over the whole schedule, make sure everybody knows their spot and where to be and what time and all that. So everything should just flow like it usually does. So I don't anticipate any issue at all. I think it's going to be a great show tomorrow night, especially with having one of the most amazing heavyweight fighters in the last several decades. So it's certainly, the power, amazing strength of Gerry Cooney. It's just what an honor for all of us that grew up watching you and rooted for you and, watched every single fight. It was magic. So to me, that's what this should be about. It should be about these folks that are getting inducted. They need to feel the same thing that I felt in year 2 and Steve felt the very first year. You get up here to, get your ring and your plaque, and you're on cloud 9. You're absolutely on clouds, and
I know.
And then you're able to find that out later. But I mean, we just couldn't. We had to make it special, or I had to make it special every year because I was so grateful for how well I was treated and what an honor it was for me. I have to give something back, and that's
well. You guys do a great job, and we'll be looking forward to tomorrow. And you just gave a great segue because the next guy we'll have up here is Gerry Cooney.
All right.
I appreciate it, fellas, and we will continue this. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow night.
It's going to be great.
That's great, Billy. Thanks you.
Thanks, guys. Next up is going to be Gerry Cooney is going to join us. Bring Jasmine. It's up to you, Gerry. Hey, you got to do the red carpet. Oh, you look at this. Huh? Oh, okay. Man, let me give you. $150. Okay. Okay. No, you twist. I didn't know you were.
This might not fit me.
Jasmine, thanks for joining us. WBA champion.
WBA
right?
world champion.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yes. So
when did you win that?
I won the title back in March of 2025. And since then, I defended my title twice, and we're coming up on the 3rd world title defense next weekend.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Cool. Who are you fighting?
I'm fighting Natalie Delgado. She's my mandatory, and she's the interim world champion. She's from Panama. So this is a big thing for her because Panama has not seen a major world champion since Roberto Duran. So this is a huge fight for me, a huge fight for her, and it's gonna be a really good.
What do you think? I know this is probably a biased question, but do you think women's boxing is kind of becoming at it? Would you consider it in its peak?
Oh, of course. I think it has a lot more growing to do, but of where it's came over the last, I'm going to say like 10 years, when I first started about 13, 14 years ago, women's boxing really wasn't of existence other than, we knew about Layla Ali and those names, but for it to be on cable TV, it didn't exist. So to see it from when I first began to now, it's a huge difference.
Well, I got to work with Chevelle Hallback, and she, it was like she just missed this this
Chevelle,
era.
me and Chevelle actually go way back. When I first started, she was a mentor for me. So,
She's a mentor for everybody.
Of course. And, as she fought her last fight, it was kind of a cool story, because when she fought her last fight, she looked to me to kind of mentor her and push her for that fight that she fought. So the tables turned, and it was a beautiful camp for her and me as well.
Yeah, she's a unique person at her age. You would never think, right?
Yeah.
And if you spar with her, I mean, she still punches, right?
Yeah, she still has a mean punch. So she's doing her thing, and I'm always in support of Chevelle. And like I said, coming up, she was a huge mentor for me.
Now, have you taken any of advice that she's learned and incorporated into your own style?
I incorporate things from a lot of different fighters. I actually like to go back and watch the old school fighters, the ones that came before me, because everything's been done before. So there's a blueprint to win every fight. So I take little things from different fighters. Let
me ask you a question, which people talk to me all the time about with women's boxing. Do you feel it should be 3-minute rounds?
Honestly, I feel like I like the 2-minute rounds just because I feel like it gives a quicker pace. And I feel like if you have punching power, as I have punching power, I can get the job done in 2 minutes. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to 3 minutes, but I'm comfortable with the 2-minute rounds.
One of the things I did like about the 2 minutes was it seemed like, kind of what you just said, it just seemed like there was more action.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting pace.
You can't mess around. If you're going to win around. But there's been some argument about that, and some of the reasons some of the sanctioning bodies give, and a lot of times I get a 50-50 answer on that. But you're right. In a way, you're making more money with by the minute, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, to me, the pace makes all the difference in the excitement of the fight. And like I said, if you have punching power, you can get the job done.
Now, how would you, if somebody never saw you fight before, how would you describe your own style?
I would say I'm exciting. I'm gonna bring the excitement. I'm gonna bring the fight. I'm very versatile, so I'm just out there for action. But whatever gets the job done is how I'm gonna fight. God bless me with athletic ability, so with that, I'm able to fight. I'm able to box you. I'm able to brawl you. I have big punch, but I have good feet. So it's just whatever it takes to win the fight.
And one last question I have: do you feel that you can make adjustments on the fly? Because obviously, I mean, you're a world champion, but obviously that's important to be successful moving forward.
Oh, absolutely. I can make adjustments just because, my dad is in my corner and I trust everything he says. And we go through 3 different game plans. So I know if something's not working, we go to whatever is going to work next. So I'm pretty prepared every time I get into that ring.
Well, that's good. Well, listen, good luck in your fight next weekend, right?
Yes, next weekend, June 13th in Orlando. It's going to be on ESPN. But if you can make it out to Orlando, even better.
Good luck with that fight. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
All right. So now is Gerry coming on? Thank you very much. Okay, Gerry. Okay, Gerry.
You're going very shy.
You're going to put the headset on? It's part of the headset. We're professional here. Anyone? We got Gerry Cooney, gentleman Gerry Cooney joining us right now. Former world heavyweight title challenger. He's being challenged right now with the headset. But Gerry, hey, glad you could join us.
Hey, great to be with you,
Gerry,
over there.
And his partner in crime, Randy Gordon.
How many years has that been, boy? It's not been easy. 700. We've been together for 17 years on Sirius XM at the fights, and we've been having a great time. I didn't know much of him before, and we got to know each other. And managers, they talk bad about everybody because they don't want you to get close to anybody. And then we found out the real story. So we've been together for 17 years.
Well, Randy, you're now in. Well, I was counting all the Hall of Fames you're in. You're going to be inducted tomorrow into Florida.
86.
Right,
He's in
right.
International
86.
Hall of Fame, right? He's in
I think
Atlantic City,
85.
New Jersey, and New York.
New York, right?
How do you do it?
I don't know. We just have fun doing it.
Now, you know how he did it? He's had a great life. He's done everything from
Randy's reach it
train,
sticks in my head. You know, watching Randy doing shows and
They
Randy
should be doing that all the time, Randy's
Yeah.
Randy cannot reach me. You got I got the long arm.
Well, now that you're not in the same studio, nobody can reach you. But yeah, so Gerry, you know, one of the things that you asked me recently was what I thought the state of boxing was in. Well, I'm going to turn it over. What do you think the state of boxing is?
You know, I think that we miss here in America. We lost ABC, CBS, and NBC. And so a lot of the kids that were kind of poor, because fighters are mostly poor, they would have taken to boxing, watching it on Saturdays and Sundays. They drifted away. And plus, you know, you got the phones. There's so many distractions. And so it's taking place elsewhere. But, you know, this last DAZN and this last company that came in with the Sheik over there, they're doing a pretty good job. It's taking a little while.
Chic.
No.
Yeah, he's a
It's
sheep.
taking a while
He's
to
excellent.
know them. It's excellence, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's doing a great job. And I
Do you-
wish I was fighting in these times, getting that 10, 15, $20 million a pop.
Well, you
I'd
can
be
make.
fighting the wrong time.
Everybody's making comebacks. You never
Yeah,
know. Hey, do you think Jerry's point? There's not as many gyms available either.
There's fewer gyms. The networks have gone away. All streaming services. A lot of people still don't know what streaming services
But
are.
Randy, my point was, Jerry was saying that there's not as much kids that they're doing other things. And my question was,
That's true.
you know, if there were more gyms, do you think they would migrate inside?
Well, I think it has to be on television. You know, it has to be seen so the kids can watch it and then get interested in this style of this person, of the quality of the man.
Yeah.
And then you take it from there, and then it grows. But it's been hurting us
Randy,
here.
you know what else they could do? Sit and have lunch, and he's training the waitress that was waiting on us today. You know, showing her how to throw jabs and
That's
everything
so
else.
good. That's so good.
Yeah,
I love
you know.
that.
I'm surprised when you met Jasmine Artiga before. I told her first thing Jerry's going to do, he's going to let me see your jab.
No. She's too strong for me.
She-
Where is she at? Jasmine, she's too strong for me.
So you
Right.
think really that the aside from that, you know, aside from the sets of eyes on
Can I
the
say-
sport,
Can I
how do you think the sport in general, the
Can
quality
I
of
just say
fighters?
that someone's going to show their face? It's going to be not another Muhammad Ali, but somebody magical. And then there's going to be a second person. Then the Olympics is going to grow again. It just comes and goes. And you got to, you know, it's disappointing for us to get used to it. But once you get used to it, they have some great fights on. You know, over there, they're putting the best on. You know, we're seeing the best fights. Go ahead.
You know, I think that, you know, that face, I think boxing doesn't give fighters enough time to be that face anymore.
But it
You know,
comes and
because
goes.
they're not.
That's true.
Comes and goes.
They, you know, my point is that sometimes the road to a championship really doesn't make the fighter popular. A lot of times the fights make the fighter popular,
Right.
and there's a lack of those fights. So how could there be
Well,
that one
But
face?
you got to give them time. And then America will see it again, and we'll get some great fighters here. And besides, America's got everybody here, so we can start to get magic again. There's magic out there. There's people that need this, and obviously the fans.
Well, I think the best heavyweight in the world right now is that 21-year-old kid out of England, Moses Italma.
Unbelievable.
I think the next year he's going to be the big name in boxing.
He's got like bricks in both hands. That kid.
Okay, well, okay, Moses Atuma. I agree that he is the future of the heavyweight division. But what about where people are putting him right now? Where a guy that he's fought.
You're rushing him.
No, I'm talking about claiming how great he is now when really he's only fought two fighters.
Dillian White,
And that was kind of a fluky fight.
first round.
Yeah. and then the last fight against Franklin, who all his wins are against fighters with losing records.
Listen, Billy, let me tell you something. He was hitting the guys not even solid and putting them out. So as he gets better, and he's, those guys over there, they're sparring with all the top guys, so they're developing. Fury fights over there. He brings all the guys into camp.
Well, his father's training him, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, I don't think so. No. But anyway, boxing is going to be strong always.
But let me remind you, Moses E. Thomas had 14 fights.
That's my point.
When Mike Tyson had 14 fights and knocking everybody out, just like Moses E. Thomas, people were saying, this Tyson kid is unbelievable. And they were the same age. It's like eye candy. We know the sport. We see it. And we have a feeling that this Moses Itama is for real.
I agree.
So I like what you're saying, but look at the lightweights, look at the super middleweights, look at the light heavyweights. We got tons of great fighters here today that we're learning about them. We're becoming interested in them. They're showing, we're watching them perform and get better on a regular basis, and they're paying them fair money.
No, I think the pool of fighters is decent, and I think that the more they fight each other, the better it will be for everybody. They shouldn't be afraid to
It takes a while.
But back to Ituma, do you think he's ready for a fighter like a Daniel Dubois or a Usyk, who he keeps calling out?
Personally, I don't.
Right. I do think that the fight against Hrgovic is the best fight for him.
It can't be a better fight.
He's slow. No offense to him, but
Right.
Ituma could look good against him, and I think
we'll see how he looks. Yeah.
How dare you tell that guy he's slow? He moves slow.
Well,
Listen, these guys are great fighters, and that kid is good. It's a special guy.
No, I'm talking about Hrgovic
Yeah, I know.
fighting Ituma.
Okay,
Hrgovic's
more experience.
he's
but
not
in
fleet
the
of
gym.
foot,
He's in the gym all the time with top guys.
and he would be a great test for Ituma.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it would be an easy fight for Ituma.
I think it will be.
You think it would be an
too.
easy fight for him?
I think he's going to knock him out
Eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually. Eventually in the fight. It's
Yeah.
not going to be an easy fight.
Let's love that.
What do you want to throw some money on it, Jerry? Is that what you're saying?
Let's love that if that's what happens. We need those fights.
No, I know.
We need those magic fights. Maybe there'll be a rematch. I don't know why I never got a rematch with Holmes back in those days. That merited a rematch.
No doubt.
And it was shown in 150 countries, but it didn't happen back then.
It's never too late.
There you go. Yeah. You was telling me. But
Could have it at Caesar's Palace.
listen,
The geezers at Caesar's.
hey, watch it, bro.
And but you're right. I think we do have some light at the end of the tunnel with some of the young fighters.
But you're talking only the heavyweights.
I know, like you
What
said.
about you guy anyway?
No, I think the lower weights are even more filled.
Do we love anyway? I mean,
Anyway, there's so many.
I want to move to
who's
Japan
the
just to
kid's gonna
watch him.
move up to fight anyway.
Bam Rodriguez.
Bam Rodriguez, what a
Come
great
on.
fight.
Yeah.
Love it. No, love it.
Well,
Can't
it's
wait.
gotta pick up a little bit.
It better hurry up. But anyways, he's no spring chicken anymore.
Oh, stop. What is he?
30.
25?
No,
34.
33, 34.
Yeah. And he's been in some tough fights.
But that kid, Bam, makes it look easy.
Love him.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Because he's fighting like this weekend, I think, for the or next weekend.
Next weekend.
Weekend for the bantamweight championship
Yeah.
against Antonio Vargas.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm so happy to be here with all the fans and all the people, the support that they're showing to boxing, and just giving their love to these guys who deserve it.
No, I listen. The Florida Boxing Hall of Fame is, in my opinion, the best. Well, aside from the International
Boxing
Boxing,
is hard.
They do a great job.
and there's none like it. And Randy, you were here last year.
Yeah.
You know how it is. This year you're getting inducted. I mean, I know you've been inducted in all those other
Stop
ones.
blushing. What are you
How
blushing
do you
for?
feel about getting into the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame?
It's an honor, especially in a state where I have announced so many fights on the USA Network. Did Aaron Pryor's only loss. I announced it with a young, skinny Harold Letterman. I mean, I was ringside doing some commentary on the Aaron Pryor Alexis Aguayo fight back in 1982. This place is my other boxing home.
Do you know what I got to put up with? I'm on the radio with him 2 hours twice a week, and he's always going like this.
Show my ring.
Right.
What's up with that? What's up with that?
You know,
Anyway,
That's
so anyway, the thing is that listen,
he's
we love
Joe
boxing.
Montana now.
You love boxing. We got to keep these people. We have to protect the struggling ones too that we don't do. We have to help them along the way. We got to find a way. I was talking today about that. It's over. I'm sorry. Somebody else is on the line now. Some new kids coming up, and they get forgotten about. And there's a period of time when you feel rejected, and I did too. But then I saved my money. But these other guys, they don't have that luxury.
Well, what can they do?
Well, they have to get help from the commission somewhere. We got to find a way.
I think they're smarter now, though, than
I met a guy at the airport
collectively.
today who was only a sparring partner, and he can't remember. He tells me, I can't remember. I said, I'm helping this guy I just met today,
Right.
but how to manage himself to get going. We're not promised tomorrow.
Nobody
We're here
is.
today.
Right.
And it's great to be with you guys today. But there are people who struggle. We need to address too. And the fights are very good. I like what I say to Sheik. You say no. What is he?
It's turkey a la Sheik.
Yeah.
But you always call him the Sheik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
His Excellency.
he could say His Excellency.
anyway, he's doing a great thing.
He,
All right.
you know, as long as he
Just
keeps it up.
tighten
As long as he
when you
keeps
get when you get the who's the guy from UFC?
Dana White.
Dana White.
Well, you guys know how I
They're
feel
gonna
about
fight.
Zuffa boxing. You know, I personally think that, you know, that's going to be our answer for all these things you're saying you want. It's going to take 5 years, 4 years from now.
Yeah, but I mean, when does the
Probably,
money
yeah.
stop rolling out? The millions and millions of dollars that they're giving out. Over,
Well, when that stops,
yeah,
the boxing
Yeah.
stops, because they don't call it prize fighting for nothing. And I think as long as there's a steady stream of money to be made, they'll go to it.
I love these guys. They got a young kid here right now who hasn't had any fights yet, but he's been training for a while. I get to work with them. I get to show him some of the skills that you need to not get hit. And he's a handsome kid, so we help each other, and we help each other. And I was talking when I was eating earlier about I go in prisons and speak to the guys and talk to them about, what are you going to do? You got to change. Are you trying to give me the hook?
No. I'm
It's a
trying.
beautiful thing.
No.
I got this guy in my corner. He's showing me the ropes. He's a very busy guy.
Randy, I got a question for you. Some of the points that Jerry's making. Do you think that there's a lack of quality trainers out there today?
Oh, absolutely.
And do you think if somehow there could be some kind of requirement with these commissions? I mean, we were talking today at
Yeah.
lunch about all it
Spend
takes.
$30.
All it takes is $50, and poof, you're a trainer. You got the cornerman's license. Do you think that commissions should require some type of training for trainers
Yes.
to at least show that they know
Should
what
be
they're
part of
doing?
the act.
Unfortunately, there's only 2 or 3 or 4 strong commissions. You get other commissions, and I hate to point out a lot of commissions down in Tennessee, what they will allow to get into the ring.
Yes.
So forget it. They're not going to have any kind of teeth to make people go to some kind of training school. The trainers through boxing have been there. They've been in the gyms. That's how boxing has been. You don't just walk into a school and become a boxing trainer. You either want the sport, you learn the sport, you carry the buckets in the beginning, you watch other old timers, and you pay your dues like in any other business.
Yeah, but
And then they
we
start
also-
letting you hold the mitts and work the corners a little bit.
We
That's
also
how
gotta-
you do it.
We also got to pat the guys on the back that have the skills, that are promoting it. Is it the higher number? No, but they're out there, and we get to watch those guys too.
See, what you're talking about is when boxing was a trade, and the kid that starts out walks into the gym, he's cleaning up, whatever. Trainer knows him a few things. He fights an amateur for several years. He turns pro. whatever, however his career comes, and then he goes back to the gym as a trainer or a manager or a promoter. He's a boxing person in the boxing business.
Well, you got to
But-
imagine.
but we don't have-
9% of fighters end up broke.
No,
You know?
but my point is we today, you want to get in the boxing business, you know what you need? A checkbook with money in it. That's it. That's it. And until that changes, you're not going to have good, better trainers the way we had it back in the day.
I think they're out there. I think that they're developing. They're going to be magical. Like everything else in life, God puts those people in our lives, helps us direct us in the right way.
Well, I hope you're right.
And I hope I'm right too.
Yeah, no, I hope you're right.
Love to see it happen.
Me too. Me too. The sport needs it.
I want you. That's what I want.
I know.
I want two of you, bro.
It's just like we need it. We need the sport. And that's why I was telling you guys when I was on your show recently, why I think the UK carries boxing on their back.
The United Kingdom, they love their boxing.
Yeah, they support them.
Week they got shows all over the UK. They're packing the places because it's on a lot of the TV networks over there.
And they
And they-
develop them.
The fighters are
fight each other.
active.
They fight each other. They draw. Their fans don't bail on them if they lose.
Well, we used to have that here.
You're
Right.
proving my point.
Come
Yes.
back.
It,
We got to have hope.
but a lot of younger fans today bail on their fighter once they lose. Oh, he was exposed. How many times have you
I
heard
don't
that?
know that. I don't believe that. I don't think you just quit on your guy because he lost the fight.
I
I
don't.
don't want you my fan anyway if you're going to be doing that. You know what I mean? You
It
gotta have
happens,
hope.
brother.
You got to have hope.
It happens.
Dude,
But
have you done that? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
no, I stay with my guy. Yeah, no. I'm talking about what I have seen. Where people, they're very, very quick to say the word. He was exposed.
But there's also fighters. They don't have that drive to take it past the endurance, the trouble. They don't have it.
Not in this country. The ones you see have it are coming from more impoverished places. I mean, that's been the history of the sport.
That's how we should be here.
And I
used to go
think
in Gleason's gym, Duran, Leonard, you name it, they were all there.
right,
On 30th Street, and
Well-
8th Avenue. It shut down.
right.
Now he's in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn now.
I'm so glad, but
Yeah.
it's just out of the way. It's not the front stage anymore.
Hey, the big fights are out there. I mean, next 2 weeks is going to be a big fight in New York at the Barclays Center. Xander Zayas is taking on Boots Ennis.
I love that fight.
It's a
Right.
terrific
Who
match.
do you like in that fight?
I'm gonna go with Xander Zayas.
Me too. Me too. I like that. I like.
Xander's eyes is bigger framed.
I don't think
You don't
Boots.
have to-
I don't think Boots has fought a guy of his
That's how
caliber,
I'm looking at it,
and he's overpowered his level of opposition.
and I don't see him doing that
And
to
a lot, of,
Xander.
and a lot
Me
of
neither.
a lot of reasons why.
You know what you're talking about, Randy. Wait, you think Boots?
A lot of reasons why he didn't. Nobody wanted to fight him because they didn't know how good he was.
Who Boots?
Yeah.
I don't
True
know.
story. They ducked him, just like they do with everybody else. They duck him.
Is that what he told you?
No, he didn't tell me. I watch him. I'm a trained boxing analyst. I know what I'm talking.
He signed the waitress. Too.
We've taught him well.
Yeah, it's good. So you're going to be doing your keynote speaker tomorrow.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to go work on it
What,
tonight.
what are you going? What are you going to talk about? You can give us a little hint.
You.
You're going to give us a
Thank
little
you,
hint.
bro.
No hints.
Talk about boxing and talk about the love I have for the sport
Good deal.
and my life.
It's a good
All
deal.
the struggles we go through and we get dropped and we got to get up and dust off our pants and move on. Those are the great things.
One of the things we're missing in the sport of boxing is characters, people with personalities like you. No. I mean
I
that's
love my life. I love everybody.
but I mean that sincerely. I don't think we have that. It's more business oriented, But anyway.
Pain in the neck, he's always got to wait for me for half an hour, right?
Everything has died in my headset.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
No, we hear you fine.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah,
We're hearing you fine. But
Got to get the electricians up
He-
there.
he-
Pay the bills.
he might be telling me the next guest is ready.
And listen, God bless Steve Canton, all he's done.
Oh no, Steve's
God bless
been
And
great.
let me tell you, Talkin Boxing, you've taken this over how many, 20 years or whatever?
Who's counting? But 23. We're going on 24.
You do a
so,
great
yeah.
job.
I appreciate that.
You really do. And the fight fans are lucky to have somebody
Randy,
like you.
Well,
I think we
the-
get the hook now. We get the
Yeah, no,
I
no,
get
that's
it.
what's happening. Yeah, I'm
But
getting it.
got to tell him what a
He's-
great job he did.
Yeah,
He's
great
he's
job.
doing good. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, Feathers. Mic drop. I got China Smith. No, you got it, just like that. Just flip that. Flip it. No. Just turn it. Look, watch. Jordan is right now. And he's a real smart cat too. My man Cello is putting on his headset, and we also got China Smith joining us, both Florida guys. China Smith is a 2026 Florida Boxing Hall of Famer. Guys, welcome. I appreciate you joining us.
I appreciate it, man. I'm excited for being here. It's just an honor, man. What can I say? We're getting together.
China, I'm sorry. I got Cello over here. You know, it's
China.
all right. Finally, you okay?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay. China Smith, what does it mean to you for getting in the Hall of Fame, especially after your career?
It's amazing when you put the work in, your dedication, your life, and you're done, you retire, and you're going about your life, moving on, doing what you do, mentor, coaching, training, teaching, and then you get the call. And after so many years, it's just amazing. It's an honor because you're like, wow. And you're with so many legends that came before you that's with you now. You look around, you name them. And it's just a true honor to be announced, to be among with these guys. And so what can I say is a true blessing. And this teaches me spiritually, God, man, he may not come when you call, but he's always on time. And what a perfect time for me this year, what I went through. And like I said, my book launching, all the things are starting to come together as it is now. So it's huge accolades.
Well, fill me in on what you've been doing since you retired, because it's been what? How long has it been?
Almost about 14, 8 years, 9 years, something like that. Yeah. It's been a while.
I think it's been longer than that.
Probably a decade, yeah. It's 14,
I
12
think
years.
it's been longer than that.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I was retired 6.5. I came back.
Okay, you did.
Yeah. I
did.
came back and fought a few fights. And then I went and retired because the last fight, didn't go to what I wanted. But I knew it was something bigger. I knew it was a bigger call. So I've been, coaching, teaching. Now I'm a life coach, a mentor, motivating speaking, where I can take my life experience and I use spiritually what I've been through and teach people, either have an opportunity to look at the cup half full or half empty. It's your choice. So once you're able to change the mindset of what you're going through, not that you're not going to go through it, just give you a better outlook, a better understanding how to overcome certain situations. It's like people say, man, I'm having a bad day. Well, it's 24 hours in 24 hours a day. Are you having a bad day or are you having a bad moment? And once you look at it again from a different perspective, I'm having a bad 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Don't allow 30 minutes, an hour ruin your whole day. So I just learned through boxing or just life in general to look at things not really that bad. It's not. It's bad or could be bad, but it could always be a lot worse. The fact that I woke up this morning, the fact that I'm still here, praise God, man. It's another fighting chance. And the fighters that's in me, the champions in me, will allow me to overcome any and all things I'm going through.
Cello, you know a little about that, overcoming some negativity and downs in life and climbing up. Tell us about that.
I mean, I agree with him 100%. And just to make it clear, I fought under China Smith's undercard and Michael Goldrush that are being inducted at the moment. And we were just talking about that for a while now. It's a blessing that I was inducted in 2024, and I'm a board member for the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, and I have the honor and the privilege to induct two human beings that I looked up to in the Tampa Bay area when it came to Florida boxing, to be here at this moment, even to be next to China Smith, to acknowledge him and appreciate him for what he's done in the sport of boxing. And for me to say, hey, I fought under China Smith. I fought under Michael Goldrush. That's a blessing to me, because if you mentioned China Smith, you mentioned Michael Goldrush, and you didn't know who they were, then you didn't know boxing in the Tampa Bay area. 100%.
Two Florida guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how I feel. And overcoming and everything that he spoke about is just what you believe in.
Well, I know firsthand how China's community embraced him and how much they loved him. And does that put added pressure on you? And I know you have a strong fan base too, but does that put added pressure on during fight time?
Well, for me, it didn't, because once I'm in that zone, I don't see anybody. I'm locked in. But I will tell you that fight that we experienced together, I didn't realize how much pressure I had. I didn't realize what I tried to accomplish, and I did to a certain degree, because I was really trying to build a community and still trying to build a community, put the fights with other people. And then once I had to let go, certain things got a lot of hand that I didn't have the time or could take interest in. But again, even with that, the mission was complete. What I said I could do, I done before.
I know you've been in pressure situations, man, Joe, and you've turned it around all of you.
At the end of the day, everything that I've done to the positive is what I try to tell people. For me, I don't care what everybody else is dealing with negativity, because I don't have control of what the negativity is. I have control of what my negativity is in order for me to continue to be positive. And that's how I continue to grow in life. And but as I sit here at this moment, it's not about that. It's about this man right here. This is, what I've done in my career. And if I compare it to China Smith, I'm hoping enough to say he does so much in the sport of boxing. And for me to be part of this history and our perspective, even what you're going to see, what we went through, that's a blessing in its own. Because I fought under their undercard, Michael Goldrush. And then I did what I needed to do to become who I've become in boxing, right? But they paved the way. So let me ask you. We had Gerry Cooney in here before, and I was asking him and Randy Gordon about what their opinions were what the state of the sport is right now. Now, you guys, are removed from the sport, but much sooner in time, more recently. What's your opinion on how it is? Do you see any differences from when you guys fought, or pros, cons, or what's your thoughts?
I do. I see a lot.
Like what?
I see that fighters pick and choose. Um, you have fighters that have strong promotion companies that are guiding them, but yet they don't want to fight who they need to fight. I could tell you, me and China Smith, and let me know if I'm wrong, but we didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice. We had to fight whoever we had to fight, whether they were good or bad. It's just, and because we spoke about that, and you've given me respect for it. It's what it is. I have Khan, my trainer, he's around here somewhere, and he flat out told me, whoever we gotta fight. Because it's just what it was.
So you think that it's changed that quick?
I 100%, I believe so.
I asked questions. I didn't even say anything. I just kept going like I want to shoot on one third time. It's like, right? But now there's so much now people want to take it like people find a stand around, right? And so now how things are. Compared to next day, so the issue is that
You mentioned something about social media. Do you think social media plays an important part in the promotion of fighters today? Well, a lot of them are self-promoted. Basically, promoters aren't promoting it. The fighters promoting it for themselves.
And what I've noticed that, and I'm going to say, China, correct me if I'm wrong, because we're both fighters, or we were fighters. You move to 100%. You have these fighters that are pretty much create a social media presence that they don't need to promote. I mean, I can sit here and name fighters, but I'm not going to do that. But
I'll name one.
100%. And he's great at what he's doing. So again, isn't it funny what we were just talking about is China Smith, Michael Koresh, Cello Alonso, sold out. Every single time we fought locally in the Tampa Bay area. Would you agree or disagree? We didn't have social media. Can you imagine if we had social media, what us three would do?
It's actually an interesting question, and the reason why is because a lot of fighters. I know Mark Baker's here. He's going to be coming on, and he's in an area where, in my opinion, one of the last grassroots promoters still promotes, and that's Jimmy Birchfield. He's still going and selling tickets and making his money from asses and seats, and his sponsors that come back, and you know about that. I think boxing needs more of those promoters. I just don't think that.
Sure. Recognition that wow, this is why
But they don't fight. They're fighting less. They're fighting less.
Correct. So I can, again, I'm going to say it with China. When we fought, there was nothing. Really, we've talked about it when you interviewed me when I did at the beginning of my career.
The skinny version.
Yeah, the skinny version. You gave me props because you looked at my record. You're a boxing historian. I fought whoever I had to fight. At the end of the day, I had no choice. I'm not going to fight him. At that point, who was I to say, who am I going to fight? What am I going to do? You didn't have that. We just had to fight so that you could become China Smith. So I could become Jose Teleman Alonso. And all that Tom told me is, you fight whoever you got to fight. I didn't have no say-so.
Now 4-round fights dictate who they fight.
It's crazy.
And then I'm asking you, why aren't there any small promoters anymore? Because they can't afford to be. Okay, so after talking about all that, we really wonder why we don't have boxing the way it should be. If you don't have the small promoter promoting local fighters first, right? Local fighters have to get a following, right? And then you move. I mean, back in the day, you had fighters that made a career from town to town, and then, they work their way up and fight, New York against Chicago or something like that, we don't have any of that today. No, not here. No, I think if somehow that can work, if somebody did that, I think boxing would be mainstream sports.
I'll give you a perfect example. I just met DiBella, and actually I met him before, but DiBella, I met him today, shook his hand, and like you said, I worked my way up to fight in another state. I fought in Chicago, I fought in Marlboro, and I lost. But I fought. I did everything I had to do when I was in Carolina, Carolina, Puerto Rico, with them training, and fights fell out. I'm gonna fight. This fight is not gonna fight. Then Lamar Ross was undefeated. I was undefeated. You know how it is. When he's undefeated, nobody wants to fight you because you're undefeated. Doesn't matter who you fought. It's just mentality is gonna say, hey, I'm not gonna fight you. So this guy was undefeated. I come from nothing. So I want to become something. I fight this fighter.
Well, at that time, Lamar Rush was on his way up. He was going for a power puncher, and you're right. Nobody wanted to fight him after that. Once he won 8 fights in a row. I think his first 8 fights were all knockouts, right?
Yeah, and then for me, then I look back at that fight, and I fought him, and like we spoke a little bit earlier, it was like, I'm fighting. Let me, don't stop the fight. You stop the fight. How many fights have you seen that should have been stopped but are not stopped, and then fights that shouldn't be stopped are stopped? That's what happened to me, right? And I heard him a few times, but I mean, that was years ago. I love to fight. No excuse, it is what it is. But what I'm trying to say is that for me, that was fighting. And I did what I needed to do. You did what you needed to do. Fighting is different.
They're in a tough spot. Do they stop the fight too soon? They get criticized if they fight. They stop the fight too late. They put the fighter in danger. They get criticized. At a certain point, we got to just make sure that we choose those. Referees that make the right decision. And it's better to stop the fight a little too soon than too late.
Based on that, I was at the.
Listen, we all want to see the fight go, but let's protect the fight.
So I was at the IDF convention a few years back in New Jersey, and I spoke to an individual and spoke about the Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti fight. And
the referee that was there, somebody knew the referee, but the referee knew both fighters, knew exactly how he fought, and understood the dynamic of what was happening. That referee, in my personal perspective, me watching that, I wasn't there, I was still young. Watching that fight, that referee that fight the way it was supposed to create the classic history of one of the best fights in boxing history.
Listen, I was talking about this.
Would you agree, or
You know what I mean? We were talking about this before. You know, the best referees, in my opinion, are the ones you don't remember who referee, because then it's not fighter A versus fighter B featuring referee so-and-so.
Right.
No, he's there to protect the fighters, you know.
Correct.
Sure, they followed him.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that. I mean, that's my opinion. You know, there's too many referees out there today that want camera time. They don't even let the fighters fight. You know, I mean, and that doesn't help. You know, but yeah, I mean, look, I think in a nutshell, I agree that boxing has changed, and it seems to have changed pretty rapidly. But I do think we still have the potential of resurrecting it if the fighters themselves follow suit the way it seems like we are getting now.
Like you said, with the right fighter, shoot, but it has to start with the fighters. Like you said, back in the day, the smaller fighters,
100% to earn your way.
No,
You gotta earn your way. Like you know, we can look at all these fighters that have accomplished so much, but correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of them, did they earn their way? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, even though they fought, but now these days, the truth is the truth. People are gonna pick who they want to fight. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna do that.
Listen,
I don't want to do this, guy.
all you got to do is look at the boxing lines. When you see fighter A versus fighter B, and you're laying $2,500 to win 100, and the other guy is plus 2,000.
Correct.
Who do you think's going to win?
Correct.
You know, and that's the kind of fights we see these days. You know, we have been seeing some great matchups, and we got like we were talking to Gerry and Randy before. You know, we got some good fights coming up. Next weekend is a good fight. Bam Rodriguez fighting, and then you know, several good fights down the road. You know, we just saw a great heavyweight fight. You know, so I mean, they are out there.
No, they're good. They're out there. It's just.
It's the road to those fights.
It's the road to those fights. You hit the nail on the head. There's no other way to say it's the road to those fights.
So, well, fellas, I appreciate you coming on. I can't wait to watch you get inducted tomorrow, and you're gonna love it. Trust me, I lived it. Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I'm gonna watch him get inducted, man. But this is somebody that I was under his car while that's China Smith, you know what I'm saying? So winning titles and me growing up and somebody that I looked up to, and now here I am as a Florida Boxing Hall of Fame board member, inducting someone that I looked up to as I was creating my legacy.
Looking forward to it tomorrow, fellas. And I'm looking forward to after this too.
Oh, let's go. Let's say you got to be ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
Mark. You're next, lady.
And now And now we're joined with Lou DiBella. Lou, first of all, congratulations, Florida Boxing Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Thank you. I haven't been seen that much lately.
Yeah, no. Well, let's talk about what's your thoughts. First of all, what's your thoughts on getting into the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame?
I'm very, very honored, It's my 7th Hall of Fame, honestly. But I thought it was very important to be here. And I think that weekends like this, the way the sport is changing, are becoming more and more important. In the sense that the history of the sport is getting lost in the shuffle. And the boxing that I grew up in, that created who I am, that allowed me to be who I am, that allowed me to buy 2 baseball teams, that allowed me to have the career I've had, I don't know if it exists anymore. It's so different. And, it's funny because when I got in, Steve called me and he said, Lou, you're going to get in, but you got to promise me you're coming. I said, Steve, I will be there no matter what. I will be there. I'm actually leaving for Italy on Monday. I moved my trip around. I made sure I can come here. Because I think more than ever, it's important that boxing people recognize other boxing people, that the sport that the people here, the sport that the people who are celebrating this weekend grew up in and watched and loved. So many of the people that are guys that run gyms, like Steve, who runs this Hall of Fame, but Steve, who's run a boxing gym forever, is one of the good guys. When I come back to St. Pete, I remember an old friend of mine who's deceased, the great Ben Getty, who had a gym here in Campbell. These are the guys that raised me in this sport. That's how I learned boxing. And my boxing life started as a 5-6-year-old kid watching Benanuti on TV with my grandfathers. And then when I first saw Muhammad Ali, like as a 6-year-old kid, I said, "Who is the guy? Was so good looking, well spoken," and I was like in love. Like that was my first hero, and I picked the right hero. And I seriously did pick the right hero, and that really is what started my life in boxing. But the boxing we see today, man, I don't have the same love for it. I have the same love for a lot of the fighters, but a lot of the fighters don't have the same mentality of the guys I promoted and I was used to. Fighters fight once or twice a year. Fighters sit back and pull each other out, motherfuck one another, say horrible things constantly, out there shitting on each other. But are they out there fighting 3-4 times a year? No. Are they calling out the best? No. Like and then you got to subscribe to 17 different places at exorbitant amounts of money to watch the fights. You used to get on HBO, Showtime, ESPN, and everywhere else. But you know what? We're responsible. The guys like me, I can't sit there and point to other people. I was one of the top promoters in this business since I left HBO in 2000 for 25 years. But you know what? We left the sport a fucking shit show. And we didn't treat boxing like a television property. We didn't work together appropriately. We didn't create a television product that had a bunch of businessmen working in unison to sell something to the networks and the streaming services that they really wanted. And we opened the door for bullshit. We opened the door for nonsense. We opened the door for Jake Paul. We opened the door for an MMA guy to get off to fight a boxer and then have the best heavyweights in the world like Usyk and Fury look like dog shit because they didn't prepare 5 seconds, got off their couches and got into the ring with a fucking great, with a guy. Look, that guy, that kickboxer that just
Rico Van Hooven.
Dude, he gave fucking Usyk hell. And he shouldn't have stopped that fight. By the way, he probably would have lost anyway. But you know what? The kid's not a boxer. He's a mediocre boxer. You know what he is? A fighter. The kickboxer was a real fighter. And if you're going to get off your couch and you're going to fight a bigger man who's a real fighter, who has a fighting spirit, who knows how to stand up and throw punches. Yes, he's a kickboxer, but that man knows how to fight. He knows the mentality of fighting.
Yeah, but Lou, you know what I said about him, and you know why I think he gave Usyk so much trouble? Is he did something that fighters don't do today. Move his head.
No. First of all, the kid was impressive for a guy that's really not a fighter.
And I think he was winning that fight.
Wait. Well, he was damn close. No, he was winning the fight.
He was winning the fight.
The tide was turning. He was winning the fight, and I think he might have gotten stopped in the next round.
I don't disagree with that. He should have got the chance.
He was winning.
Right.
He was winning
100%.
the fight. And I love Usyk. He's a great fucking fighter. That was a disgrace the same way Tyson Fury was a disgrace against Ngannou. Neither one of them took it seriously. They both took the Saudi Arabian money. I don't call anyone but Jesus Christ or God Almighty His Excellency. Sorry.
No,
I'm not calling anybody his excellence. You know?
Listen,
I'll leave his court before I start calling someone his excellence.
so you made a point, all right? And my question is, as far as promoters go, okay? You had to promote, just like I mentioned Jimmy Birdfield. You know, you guys actually promoted.
The guys taking money from Turkey aren't promoting. They're just
But the fighters are promoting themselves. Social media.
Who's the one? Who? How many of them?
Ryan Garcia.
Okay, that's one. And by the way, he deserves to make the money he's making because
of that.
As much of a mess as he's been at times. I actually love Ryan.
I do.
We don't talk right now because he got pissed off at me because when he went off the rails, I criticized him. But I really think he's a good kid. I think he's very talented, very talented. But you know what? He does understand building a following is everything.
Everything.
You don't have to be loved. You have to have people care about you. If they hate you, it can be as powerful as them loving you for your ability to make money. A lot of people back when people forget this. A lot of people hated Ali. Oh, people forget Mayweather. Probably more people hated Mayweather than loved him.
I agree with that.
Right? But you know what? They want to watch him. You know, they knew how damn good he was, and a lot of times they watched him to hope he was lose. He didn't lose because he was too good.
100%.
If the Steve Hamed, I happen to love him. Other people hated him. But he made more money than
Best ring entrance on the carpet.
one of the greatest entertainers in the last 50 years of boxing. He was an entertainer. He got it. Other guys back when were social media influencers before there was social media. Right? Why do you think Rocky Graziano was a star? You know, there were a lot of guys who were stars for Hector Camacho, for being so colorful, for being characters. Boxing always had a lot of characters. It also always had a lot of bad guys too. I mean, there were good guys, there were bad guys. There were always back when there were more good guys than bad guys. I'm not sure that's the case anymore. I probably would argue right now that there might be more bad guys than good guys. There are more good guys around the weekend like this because the people that are actually running gyms, that are running programs for kids, that are keeping kids away from drugs in the streets, those are the angels of boxing. The motherfuckers that run the business of boxing suck.
They don't know they're not boxing people.
No, they would argue they are. They're where the money is. So there are people blowing them right now. There are people calling the guy that honestly do the research on Turkey Al Sheikh, and you see a lot of things you don't love. And by the way, it's not his fault. He sees an opening. He's a fan. He has more money than God. He's coming in because we left the sport of shambles, and it opened the door for him. And it opened the door for Dana White. What do you think? Dana White loves our sport. You think Dana White really understands our sport? But you know what, man? I'm not going to down Dana White. He's a good businessman. He's run UFC's a tremendous MMA promotion. The laws just changed because his best friend's sitting in the White House, and they laid out a red carpet that's longer than that red carpet on the floor right now. They laid out a red carpet for UFC that they're going to have an easy path to dominating boxing in this country. You know, right now, there's no boxing on HBO. I mean, man, it makes me cry that there's no boxing on HBO, no boxing on Showtime, no boxing. No real boxing. There's some women's boxing now occasionally in ESPN, but ESPN's not spending real money in boxing any longer. And it sort of breaks my heart because I ain't subscribing to the Zone. I don't give a shit about the fights anymore. And I'm not going to keep spending big money and then big money to subscribe to something that is for an average person expensive, and they still bang you for big events. And if you want to see like their best fights, you have to pay separately for those, and you're paying like $600-700 a year or some crazy number. But I mean, I don't even have to say that.
Well, I one thing before we let you go, baseball.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Baseball's been my heroes when I was 5 and 6, 7, 8, 10 years old were Muhammad Ali, Tom Seaver, Willie Mays.
Oh, so you're a Mets fan?
I'm a Mets fan. I was a Willie Mays fan, a big Roberto Clemente fan. But baseball and boxing have been my whole life. Like they've been in terms of sports. Like they're sports I love. So I always want to get it. But what people in boxing don't realize is I've had multiple careers for almost 25 years. Like I've been investing in baseball teams since 2000. So I'm not like it's not a new thing to me. I'm 25 years in. And people thinking I left boxing, no, I was in boxing. I was in baseball. I ran my course in boxing. I did everything I could do.
I never knew you had the team. I just recently found out like 2 years ago.
Right now, I'm the managing partner and the president of one of the most successful teams in all of minor league baseball, the Richmond Flying Squirrels. We average almost 7,000 people a night in attendance. That's 71 times a year. That's right. So 500,000 people come into my baseball games every year. So it's I love baseball, and I love minor league baseball. I love being able to offer a fun experience to families that's affordable. Politics. There's politics in everything. And I had to build a ballpark in Richmond. I just built a $130 million ballpark. You should come to Richmond and check it out.
I definitely.
You come in and get a food from the Florida Hall of Fame, and I'll give you the owner's box on it. Come in as a guest. You can go down there and check it out. Also, Richmond's a great town, but great town. I love baseball. I love our fans. I love the people of Richmond. They're dealing with politicians. I'd rather deal with Don King.
Well, listen, I'm going to talk to you more about baseball because I got something to talk to you about that. But I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
and,
tomorrow the Hall of Fame called me. They said, "What do you want as your walkout song?" They said, "Take me out to the ball game."
There you go.
Fantastic. That's exactly what I said. Good to see you, bro.
Yeah,
I'll see you over the weekend.
Yeah,
I'm going to go watch the Knicks game. Let's go, Knicks. Go New York. Go New York.
All right.
Good job.
Well, joining me here right now is a great author, Mark Allen Baker. How you doing, Mark? Glad you can join me. You've written many books. I know my favorite so far is the Lou Ambers book, but you have a new one out. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I've got a new excellent book for so many historians and fans. A book on the great promoter, great boxing manager, and great promoter and great Broadway producer, gentleman by the name of William A. Brady, who used to, believe it or not, and it's hard to believe, manage 2 undisputed heavyweights in the early days. The first being James J. Corbett and the second being Jim Jeffries. But we were talking about it earlier that so often boxing fans really want to get multiple perspectives. And this one's going to provide that, because when we look at figures like Ali, if I'm a big fan of Ali, I'm going to go back. I'm going to read Ferdy's book. I'm going to read Bundini's book. I'm going to go right down the list and Angelo's books, all of them, to get a better perspective of Muhammad Ali. William A. Brady paints a new picture for so many boxing fans of the early days of boxing, because he was there. He was at the guts of it. He tells you the psychological warfare that he was promoting with his fighters. I mean, he took Corbett to the top, and then he took Jeffries to the top, and it's just a fantastic introduction into the heavyweight scene in the early days. And then this gentleman goes from jumping from boxing all the way to Broadway, and he just dominates Broadway during the times of Ziegfeld and David Belasco and all these great theatrical greats. And then he discovers talent, and not only did he have an eye for talent in boxing, but he had an eye for it in theater. So he discovers the Barrymores, and all of a sudden he goes all the way down the line and manages some of the greats of the stage, from Helen Hayes to discovering Humphrey Bogart. And that's a good story, and all those are covered in the book. And this is a man who started with virtually nothing, and I mean was born during 1863 during the Civil War, basically rode a train east, lost his father. I mean, it's an incredible story. I mean, it's a movie, and for me, it's a transition, because I move a little out of boxing and more into theater, not out of boredom, but because I'm realizing there's people around boxing and that had their hands in it for a while and made really a great contribution, and that's what Brady did. And
what was his secret? If he could go across all the different
perseverance. I mean, it's just incredible what this man goes through, but his perseverance, and he had an eye for talent. He had an eye for talent.
Yeah, but my point is, like, he had an eye for talent, for boxers, for actors, for theater. I mean, what was his
well,
secret?
he picked up on it as a youth. He used to sneak into theaters and to see plays, and he used to sneak into boxing matches to see boxing matches. And he just is an interesting parallel between how he loved boxing and he loved the theater. And the two really don't fit, because he got embarrassed after a while. He's promoting all these great heavyweights, making tons of money way before Rickard. And all of a sudden he starts realizing, well, the clientele I'm reaching may not be the clientele that's gonna think highly of boxing. So maybe I'll move to the theater, get a better audience, a better clientele, a little more money. But then after a while, realizes the two really work, because all the first people buying tickets to all of his boxing matches were all the city gentry in New York City saying, "Hey, can you give me the good seats?"
But weren't back in those days, like especially Jeffries and Corbett, when they were a champion, they made most of their money touring, doing like these
Oh,
acts.
absolutely.
So was he part of that too?
Oh, absolutely. And no question about it. In fact, I do a whole section. James J. Corbett played professional baseball. And I listened to DiBella talk about baseball. Well, there is some parallels there, and a lot more than he even mentioned. But in the old days, Corbett would play on like multiple teams, sometimes a few games on one. He played in Hartford. He played on a team in Hartford. I think he played probably 15
While he was fighting?
While he was fighting. And in the old days, you could pay. Brady would go in and say, Corbett wants to play. Can you put him on first base? And that's the way it worked back then. You could actually pay a player to go on. I didn't know that until I started doing the research and realized, what do you mean? You can take the heavyweight champion, put him on first base, right.
As long as he paid the team?
Yeah, he paid the team to do it. And so you get a little perspective into James J. Corbett's baseball ability.
That's wild.
And then he started buying teams like Lou. He started buying baseball teams. He bought one of the Rochester teams. It wasn't the Red Wings then, but he bought a Rochester team and still always liked it. But then he gets into other areas. He actually started promoting professional cycling, because in the old days, Madison Square Garden had what was called a velodrome, and the old tilted tracks and stuff.
Like roller derby.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really big. And so he started promoting racers. And one of the great racers was a gentleman by the name of Major Taylor. And he started promoting him. And then he started promoting other figures in other areas, including when they first landed on, a lot of explorers, for example. I won't go into too much detail. And wrestlers. He started promoting some wrestlers too. But it's an interesting book. And I had so much fun writing it. And it was a little bit of a movement to a different market for me, sort of. But I had the boxing confidence, obviously. And I knew enough about the early days of boxing to really get into Brady and see what he could add to it. And I found perspectives like you wouldn't believe on how he psyched out Fitzsimmons with Jeffries. And I get into so much detail that I've never seen covered in any books.
No.
So that's my new one, but that just follows the Jack Dillon book, which
yeah, that was cool too. What's the total count to this book?
Over 30 books, and I'm boxing, I think 12 or 14 on boxing, but
I don't know how you do it.
30 books,
and they're always so good too.
Well, thank you very much. You happen to appreciate it, and you've got a lot of. I write in a kind of the good thing now is that boxing fans and everybody who's talked here tonight has spoken about it. Is the boxing fans are far more educated now than they've ever been.
Well, the information's at your
information is at, and the appreciation for the old time boxers is there. That's why naturally bad guys, and DiBella hit his point right on the head. If you look bestsellers in boxing, and Amazon charts every boxing book there is. So if you look at the top 10, it's the bad guys.
Right.
It's Tyson or it's Ali. It's the controversial figures, but characters that sell books. But the good thing is, as you go down the chart a little bit further, all of a sudden you start picking up names like, Henry Armstrong or Leo Houck, or names that have drifted in and fallen between the cracks. Or one of mine that pops up, or like an Ambers, or naturally Willie Pep's going to pop up every once in a while, but it's the figure. I like the figures no one's heard about but are great stories.
No, I'm with you. How can we get your book?
Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com has all those, sell all my books, and it's been so much fun, and I love the sport, and I love everybody around it, and I can't think it's such an honor being here.
Well,
congratulations, all the volunteers.
Congratulations
Thank
for
you
your
very
induction. I look forward to it tomorrow, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you very much.
All right, my man. What's up?
He was perfect.
Yeah, he was.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you later. There you go.
Okay, we're gonna be quick.
All right.
I finally made it. Okay.
Yeah, those have been giving people trouble all day. There you go. We're
Okay.
twerking around. You good?
I'm good. I hear you. Great.
Joining us right now, we got Secura. Glad you could be with us.
Thanks. It's great to meet you,
t-
Billy.
Yeah. Well, we met last year.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the Boxing Playhouse.
I mean, Boxing Playhouse is great. We're doing what we think that fans need to hear, which is we're trying to excel the boxers today. I mean, everybody looks up to the Alis and the, Tysons. Everybody looks up to the greats of yesterday, but we're here to like acknowledge the fact and advocate for the athletes today that are still putting in the work, grinding, training hard, and just wanting to make it and striving to be an Ali or a Sugar Ray Robinson or someone like that. So that's what our main focus is. But we advocate for women in boxing, and we also want preventative measures for, to prevent brain injuries as well. So all of those things are important to us.
No, that's cool. With all the stuff that we were talking about today, and since you're focusing on fighters, that are
Present.
right.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on some of the comments like about the fighters compared to fighters of other eras, let's say?
I mean, for other eras, and it's like you got to remember that those guys were fighting way more often, so they're going to be in more pristine shape. Plus, the training is kind of like more different than what the training of boxers are receiving now. So I'm going to pick the old school boxer against the new school boxer every time.
Well, one thing, yeah, we're gonna do a show about that coming up. We'll talk about it another time. But one of the things you mentioned, fighters did fight more often back in the day, but fighters spar more often today.
I don't know if that's a great thing to do.
I don't disagree.
Right.
Well, theoretically, they're wearing headgear and stuff when they're sparring.
But it's still, most boxers are saying the injuries are coming from the training, not from the actual fight. A lot of people that got severe brain injuries actually might have got concussed with the sparring before the fight even happened. So now you already have a brain situation going on, and then you go into a rough fight. Now you might have a severe injury because it's just like in football when they make them sit out because there's some type of concussion or something. But what we're doing in boxing is you're still getting hit. So if you've gotten really, some severe, I mean, like DC, for instance, they're known for some rough sparring.
Well, Philly's known for some rough sparring
Philly
too,
too, yeah.
but if you're sparring and you're a fighter and you're in there sparring and you're getting beat up so bad that you're concussed, maybe one of two things should happen. Maybe you should stop fighting.
Okay.
And maybe you should get a better trainer because a trainer will teach you to avoid those shots.
Correct. The defense is a lot of time what's missing today. Nobody is moving their head as much as they did.
I agree with you 100%.
Right. So if somebody is concussed, I've heard a lot of trainers be like, "Oh, well, we're not fighting. If they got hurt in training, then we're calling off the fight." No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not going to miss this payday, because you see your boxing. It's just the way it is. People are not looking out for their boxers. It's like the corners that have the ability to contact or let the referee know they want to stop the fight, but they never do, hardly. And then what happened to Breland, Coach Breland, when he stopped the fight for Wilder versus Fury too? He got fired for stopping it. So it's a culture that we have in this sport of not wanting to stop a fight if the boxer doesn't want. They want to go out on their shield, obviously, but you're supposed to have a team with you in your corner that knows when, hey, we need to call it so he can fight another day.
So when does the fighter decide that he needs to change a team if he feels that his corner's not doing the right thing?
Unfortunately, I've heard from a lot of former champions and boxers that they don't find out until they suffer a loss. And then that's when they go to their, locker room or they go back to the hotel. Nobody's there with them. that's when you know that you don't have the right team.
Well, one of the things that I've always said is this. You know, you hear it. You see a trainer and a fighter before a fight, and the trainer's doing all the talking, and he's saying, "We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this." The fighter loses, and the trainer's up there saying, "Well, he didn't do this, and he didn't do that."
what I said
You know,
to do. Yeah,
so if you're a team, you're a team. You're going to win like a team and lose like a team.
exactly.
You know.
You got to know that when you lose, then you actually can see who still stays with you, who's still there for you when it's not a fun night, when it's not a celebration.
My last question is, how does that get fixed? How do you think that something like that could be fixed?
Just you and me talking about it right now is helping fix it, isn't it?
Well, then I feel good about that.
I know, Billy. We need to like support the boxers now and let them know you have the right to have the right team behind you. And you need to know, is this person going to be with you, ride or die, even when you don't win? And if that's something we need to, because a lot of boxers now don't realize that they're the boss. Like they're the ones that's making the money, and nobody gets paid if he doesn't fight. So does that make him in control, or the promoter in control, or the trainer in control?
I think today any fighter needs to have a solid team behind him
Yeah,
or her. I
absolutely.
think that's critical, and I agree that fighters are too tough. I mean, corners are too tough for their fighters.
Right.
I mean, we watched the heavyweight fight not too long, a couple weeks ago. Fabio
Oh
Wardley.
yes, Wardley.
He was staggering.
2 rounds earlier.
2 rounds.
That could have stopped.
Two rounds. He
rounds
came
earlier.
out of the corner staggering, and not only did his corner let him, but the referee.
The referee act like he didn't see it either.
I'm with you.
You know what? Because he's a big puncher. So at any moment, they were thinking that he could turn the fight around and have a big knockout. But that's not always going to be the story.
Did you see how he looked on
Oh,
by
it
those?
was rough.
So it didn't look like he was doing much defense either. And
No.
he's not known for his defense, but
Well, no, and he also doesn't really have that many fights, does he?
no.
So
And I've
this is
been saying that. That's what I've been saying about him.
like
100%.
now, a lot of boxers now, like instead of having to have 18-0 and these established records, they're giving them world championship fights at 8 to 12, fights. So you're not as experienced.
I'm with you. I can't even argue with you.
So
That's bad.
So
That's good.
I'm right.
No, I agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
You're great.
I think
I like when people agree with me, guys.
No, I've said this. I've said the same things, but especially on that fight.
Right.
That specific fight, Wardley.
Let's talk Ennis Boots versus
Zayas.
Zayas. Who you got?
I like Zayas in that fight.
You like Zayas?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I like
All
Zayas.
right. Yeah.
I like
okay.
Zayas.
Okay.
And because I don't think Boots,
I don't know if the competition. I don't know if maybe I feel like he could have had like 2 more fights with 2 of his opponents of fighters that's fought Boots in the past, just so we can see a litmus test. And
who has Boots beat?
I mean, the people he's beat is like, I mean, they're B level fighters. We want to be honest.
That's my point.
But I mean, I at least knew some of the fighters, I think. But it's still like they're on the downside of their career, right? When they're fighting somebody like a Boots.
Right.
But it's the same thing for Xander in a way.
Well, they're fighting each other, so we're going to see.
Because who has Xander been able to fight? And I love Xander.
No, I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a good fight. Well,
Puerto Rico versus Philly. That's what Daddy fight.
Yeah, he's from Philly.
Yeah, Puerto Rico versus Philly. So I
Well,
think I'm gonna go with Philly.
You're not good with Philly?
I think I'm gonna go with Philly. But we'll see.
I'm going against you. I'm going against you with that one.
Perfect. I love it.
Sounds good. Well, he's in my ear telling me
we're
that
ready
that's
to go.
it.
I see,
And
John.
I appreciate everybody joining us, and we're looking forward to all the festivities tomorrow.
All right, and thank everybody
See
for
you
coming
soon.
to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame this year,
There you go.
2026. Congratulations to all the inductees. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
I agree with everything. I said the same thing.
I said the same thing too, but if nobody's ever willing to say, hey.